some of the things you're going to need to do this job. A drain pan, of course, to catch your water or your coolant or your antifreeze. You're going to need a pair of pliers to get this little clip right here so you can drain the reservoir. You're going to need a screwdriver just to go ahead and get this hose clamp loose from the water pump. And you're going to need a chemical resistant glove. I like to use these Venom gloves because they're reusable. There we go. I didn't turn it far enough. There we go. Like I said, that wiring harness is in a really silly spot. I think the 1 and the 02 GSX-R1000s had the funny spot right there. And get your Phillips. Undo this hose clamp right here. Now it's going to come out pretty fast. If you're down on the ground next to it, I recommend you wear some eye protection just in case of a splash. That's why I like these chemical resistant Venom gloves here. You can reuse them until you get a hole in them. Should be good to go. There it comes. Let's see what we get out of here. It's been a little while. See what the fluid looks like. There it goes. It's gonna come out fast. Not too bad looking. Now you got this little clip right here for this reservoir, and you just, there goes my empty bottle. Just take it kind of slow because you don't want to break that nipple off. Now, if you do, you can just replace this, but there's a little nipple down there on the bottom. You don't have to remove this clamp. You just pull it down. You want to kind of just work this off of here slowly. So like I say, you're not breaking that nipple. It could be sun damaged or heat damaged and just be brittle at this point. It's a 2002 motorcycle, so it doesn't look like this has been changed ever. I did change the front brake reservoir about 5 years ago. That little thing was so dry rotted. Well, it's about to come off of there eventually, I think. All right, we can just come over here and take this off. Since that hose didn't want to come off, I'm worried I'm going to break the nipple. This way we can just uncork this and dump it. As you can see, this is really brittle. This is the original tank bottle. I keep calling it tank, but it's a bottle. Try not to drop it down in the Manky coolant, Manky water wetter. All right. Now, should pop right off of there. Oh, come on. One more thread, 2 more threads. Holy moly. This little hose is in the way, so it doesn't help. I might go ahead and replace this next time too. All right, pop that off of there. Just go ahead and let that drain right out into there. That should be fine. Could probably even go ahead and leave it like that. Take the time to inspect the hose, all the hoses. fill this up with some water, put the cap back on it. Now remember, you've got your finger over this because you took this off already. So just go ahead and shake that up. See, the bees are hanging around because this stuff's sweet. This water wetter's got a little sweet hint to it, so that's why you don't want to leave it out, because the bees will drink it and stuff like that. Your pets might, your cat or your dog might drink it, so you don't want to leave it out. You want to make sure you cover it up so no animals can get to it. All right, now I'm going to drain this back into the pan. All right, now that you've got your reservoir tank cleaned out, cleaned up a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together, screw it back down. All right, now you make sure your catch pan's down here. Get yourself a funnel, some distilled water. Make sure it's distilled water. Even in the manual, the Haynes manual even says you can use a garden hose. I wouldn't do that. It'll leave mineral deposits down in the radiator. You don't want that. All right, so I'm just going to do straight distilled water right now and flush it. It's still a little bit colored. Yeah, just get all that out of there. See how it's got that clear white color to it. As soon as it runs clear, you're good. You don't have to keep doing it. It's getting pretty clear. It was a little milky at first. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'm a bit surprised it's been longer than 2 years since I've done this, that it looks that clean. Kind of want to rock the bike back and forth just a little bit while you're doing this, just to make sure you get it all shaken up. Flip that hose down a little. Yeah, that's clear. Still looks murky because there was still some stuff down in the bottom of this pan, just a little bit. All right, next thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and reconnect that hose to the water pump. So you're going to want to put this water pump hose back on here. Now there's a little tab right there. It's as far as the hose wants to go. Make sure you check all these hoses and stuff when you do this job, just to make sure there's no cracks, it's not dry rotted, no splits, no bulges. And if there are, you just go ahead and replace it. It's easy as that. Now make sure you're actually clamping the metal part of the water pump, and you're not just tightening the hose and it's not gripping the water pump. Make sure this hose clamp is tight. You don't want it falling off while you're going down the road. All right, grab your pliers and reconnect this hose to this nipple. This little clamp right here. Let's get the nipple back on there first. The hose back on the nipple first, I mean. I know I should be wearing my gloves, but I'm not. Let's get this up there. I went and looked up Partzilla, and this bottle is like 40 bucks. This hose is actually over $50, which is a little bit shocking, but not too bad. And there we go with that. Take your time. Definitely don't forget to put this clamp up. Nice and tight. That's a nice tight connection right there, which is good. This is a relatively easy job, but my least favorite part about this job is locating or reaching this bleeder screw right here. And what you're going to want to do is, after you fill the radiator with your coolant, we're going to start the bike. Don't let it heat all the way up. Shut it off. And then it's an 8mm for the K2 GSX-R1000 and probably the same for the K1 GSX-R1000. And you're just going to have to crack that open until you see coolant coming out of it. Now try to do it as soon as you start it the second time so it doesn't get too hot on you and burn you when you get your hands in here. And then what you want to do, as soon as you see coolant coming out of there, you can just shut it, tighten it, and that's it. But I suggest you locate this and make sure you can reach it first before you put the coolant in there. All right, next step is to fill the radiator with coolant. This is what I like to use. You don't have to use this at all. You can buy the coolant, Suzuki brand, X-Star, whatever you want. Now it says 1 ounce per quart. So I got a half gallon here, doing 2 ounces. And then we're gonna see where we're at on the fill line. Remember, pour it kind of slow when you pour it in. Because you want to keep air out of the system as much as you can. Now a little bit of air is gonna get in there. All right, so what I like about this, it has these little ounce hash lines on there in red. And what you want to do is we're just going to do 2 ounces. It says it's about 3 or 4 capfuls is an ounce. Let's see where we're at there. All right. Well, it's just about 1 ounce. And we're going to do 1 more of those. A little bit more. All right, that's just about the 2 ounce mark. Now, you don't have to be extremely precise because we're probably going to go in with a little bit more. Now remember, what you want to do is you want to take your time with this and fill it slow. And then remember, you also want to shake the motorcycle just a little bit back and forth. Make sure all the air bubbles are getting out of there. Now, some people might think this is extra slow That's okay. This is just how I do it. You're gonna figure out how to do it on your own, and then you're gonna keep doing it the same way. All right, that's just about a quart. See, I don't want it to make that splashing sound. You're just getting air into the line like that. That's about a quart. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shake the bike a little bit. And then I'm just going to carry on doing it about the same speed. Slow and steady. Now make sure if you spill any of it, you wipe it up. Off the side of the radiator, stuff like that. So I can kind of hear it. There it goes. Now make sure you wipe that up. We're going to shake the bike again. I've got blocks over there on the other side on the kickstand, so I'm just making sure I line that up right. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably going to need a light to see down in there. And nope, it's not quite full yet. Go all the way up to the top. A little bit more in that half gallon that was in here. Remember, it was only half full. Getting close. Just until we can top that off, I did about about a quart. There we go. That's all the way full. So I did about a quart, and then I put 3.5, 4 caps of the water wetter in, like it says on the directions. And that is full all the way up to the top. All right, now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start the motorcycle. First, we're going to shake it a little bit, just to make sure it's down. Don't shake it too much because you'll dump what's in there out. Just shake it a little. You hear it burping down there, right? It's not just the gas in the gas tank. There was a little bit of a burp. Take a look down in there. See how much of it went down. Well, it went down pretty far. All right, I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And there it goes again. All right. That should be it. I'm going to give this another shake. Just a little bit. All right. Now we're going to start it up. And we're going to let that get down into the tank, into the radiator. Don't let it get too hot. You don't want that coming out of there scolding you. See, it's starting to smoke a little bit. Like I said previously, get to this bleeder screw. It's not easy. I hope it's on camera. And what you want to do, start it up and crack that open and see if you get any coolant coming out of there. So that's what we'll do. Got a little stream of coolant coming out of there, as you can see. Just bleed it. Tighten it back down. I might have opened it a little too much, but that's all right. Let's tighten it back down. You can also use a little stubby Phillips if you can fit your hand in there. There you go, it's tight. All right, as you can see, it's gotten dark. This is the time consuming part as well. You want to keep doing a heat up and cool down cycles. You do not want to take this radiator cap off while it's hot. So it takes a little while just to make sure everything's topped off the way it should be. Have I complained about where they put this thing? Yeah, I have. I always do. All right, so we got a funnel in our overflow reservoir. We also got a little bit of leftover pre-mixed water wetter and distilled water. Now we want to go right up to this fill line right here. So that's it. It's totally fine. You don't have to be extremely precise. Your stopper back in there, your cork. There you go. All right, time killers. And there you have it. That is a complete radiator flush and coolant refill on a K2 GSX-R1000 Suzuki. It's a time-consuming process. It's relatively easy, but that heat up and cool down cycle at the end, it gets time-consuming, and as you can see, it well into the night last night. But I always expect it when I do this service. Do something like this. Take all of your fluids to the correct hazardous materials recycle or whatever you've got in your town close to you. Don't leave this stuff out. Don't dump it down a drain or anything like that. And also remember, when you're doing jobs like this, especially on a motorcycle, you have to understand that the responsibility is all yours. It's on you. So if you have a concern that you're not a good enough mechanic to do any of these jobs, take it to a professional. And if you are learning, that's exactly what you should be doing. You should be buying a used bike, in my opinion, and using that as your base for learning how to do these jobs. It's definitely fun to get out and remind myself of how to do these maintenance jobs. And that's all it is. The more you do it, the more it's going to become second nature, and you're not even going to have to think twice about the process. So thanks for killing time with me. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody be safe out there. I want to thank my subscribers. And if you're new viewers, give it a like if you like what I'm doing. Hit that notification bell if you want more videos like this.